Welcome into the DML Network and another episode of the Bye Week with your boy XPERT. We got three guys on the show, and it just happens that all three guys are over in the NFC. We're going to talk about your squad, what's going on with them, and how you feel about them. And we'll start with the OG, Mr. Matty Ice and those Philadelphia Eagles. What's going on, Matty Ice?
What's up, Andrew? How you doing, baby?
Man, I'm so good. Good to have you on the show. Let's talk 80 points real quick. Matty Ice, what happened with the Dallas game that just put the Eagles on? I don't know, y'all got something upset or something pissed you off, because you came out and put an 80 piece on the Dallas Cowboys and Mr. HBO. What was that about?
First of all, I love HBO, man. He's a good guy. I had plenty of conversations with him. Good guy. I wish him nothing but luck with his child and his new house and his relationship. He really got on my wrong side, man. Is when he started rooting, when I would be in a game, right, and I'll be in like a close game with I think it was with Mr. 99. I was in a very close game with him, and he's in the chat. He's like, "Oh yeah, whoop his ass," or excuse my language, beat him, and that he was paying the Saints the Addy 5. You win this game, we'll give you a PSN card. So basically, he was doing the coward type stuff, having other people to try to beat me because I was whooping on him. So I took note of that, and I said I'm never gonna let off the pedal on him. But a lot of that 80 points was his fault, XPERT.
Yeah.
He was backed up into his own territory, and he would either not punt the ball. He was down 17 points, so he didn't have to punt, and he just kept going for it. So I would have perfect field position every time. I would have 10 yards for a touchdown on probably 50 of the points. I don't know what he was doing. I think he was trying to pat stat that QB. I guess he hasn't seen my defense lately, because I have a couple of the best. I probably have one of the best secondaries in the league. I don't know what was going on with him, man, and it just led one thing after another. It happened quick. It was the longest second quarter I ever played in my Madden career.
Yeah, it was crazy. I looked away. It was still like in the 40s, and I came back and it was like 60 something. I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
But let's talk about the NFC East for a minute, because last year you didn't win the NFC East, which was the first time that's happened since Madden 19 came out. What happened with the Philadelphia Eagles last year, where you just struggled to take that division like you have, and Puglisi kind of came out and snuck up and took the NFC East title from you?
He did. I had some life things going on. Right, I'll just put that out there, and I'm not going to give no chicken out. But one of my key players got injured, man, and for some reason we struggled to find consistency on offense, and that led to one of the worst seasons of my DML career. I think I kind of cleaned some things up. I made a couple moves in the off season, which I felt like I needed help despite my injuries this year. One of the players made a huge impact, but he's a low key guy, Mr. Henry Swede from Addy 5. I appreciate you, brother. Know that. He's been making a big impact in pass protection after I moved him to the tackle position from the guard position. So, you know me, Andrew. I never really worked on my offensive line. I feel like I might have shortchanged myself. A couple teams I had in the DML by never building a line, and looking at some successful teams. A lot of them have a good team in the trenches. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned injuries, and you've kind of got hit with the injury bug this year quite a bit. Some key players have gone down in back-to-back weeks, but you've kept fighting. What is the difference this year versus last year when you had some of those injuries where you just couldn't recover? But this year, you've really just had that next man up mentality in Philadelphia, and you've just continued to progress this season. Holding on to that lead in the NFC East. Believe you're still 2 games up in the win column. But what's been the difference this year when you've had injuries versus last year when it kind of folded the Eagles?
That's a good statement. Play calling, protecting Josh Rosen, putting him in good situations, putting the offense in good situations. I've cut out a lot of my habits that I would go, I don't give out no chicken because there's a lot of people looking for chicken. play calling and smart decision making is the best way I can answer that.
And this is why I love doing shows with you, Matty Ice, because every time I'm about to go to the next segment, you bring up the exact thing I need to talk about. Let's talk Josh Rosen. You've made some changes at the QB position in Madden 19. Mm-hmm. Wentz starts, you get rid of Wentz. You bring multiple quarterbacks in. They don't fit the style. Then you bring Josh Rosen in. And he's played very, very well for you here this year. He's got 1,600 plus yards. He's got 64% completion. He's got more touchdowns than interceptions, 19 to 11. Is this the quarterback that can lead the Philadelphia Eagles to a championship?
Man, you know what? I found out the hard way, so I'm just going to say this. My first season, I don't know if you remember, you probably don't. I ran a play called the halfback wham, which I know you know the play.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And for some reason, yeah, no doubt. And for some reason, Wentz kept the ball. Like, I had no control over this play. I hit X, and Wentz ran 5 yards, got popped, and he was hurt. And I was upset. Nick Foles was still a baller at the time. He actually led me to the playoffs and played better than Wentz. And then I put Wentz back in the playoffs, and it didn't work out too well. So I said, you know what? I know Wentz is going to win a lot of money, which you've seen he was franchise tagged about 3 times in a row in Buffalo. I said, I'm going to put him on the block. I feel like I can build any quarterback like I did with Madden 18 with New Orleans. I got him named Archer. It didn't work like that this Madden. I traded for Josh Rosen. I didn't have a good time with him. For Josh Allen.
Yep.
So Rosen was put at Chef Scoopa came to the office, said, hey, I'm trying to get a first. And I see an opportunity where I liked Rosen better than Allen. So I said, look, I'll give you a first. It was a late first. It was like pick 27 or something. I said, look, swap me QBs, and I'm going to give you a first. You give me a future second. Worked in the calculator. I think Rosen was about an 84 at the time, but he had good attributes. A lot better than Josh Allen. And I think he was like runner. He was definitely QB of the year I got him. He played a full season. So he jumped from like an 84 to 87, and then a couple overalls after that. And man, I had to pay him about $140 million. So I feel like he will be my quarterback for the cycle. I wish he was a little faster, but I like how tall he is. I like his pocket presence and the way he can look. He's 6'4", he can look over the line. He's pretty accurate for the most part. So I'm happy with him. Yeah, if there's going to be a QB to take me in the lane, it's going to be him in my decision making.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this backfield, because it's really a backfield by committee right now. You don't really have that one guy that you say, okay, this is the guy that's going to take us, and run the ball consistently. I mean, you got Corey Grant, the veteran, who's still very fast. You got Matt Breida still doing his thing. I believe Matt's hurt right now.
Just came back, fully recovered this week.
He just came back. And then you draft a rookie in Darby Timmons. Has Darby Timmons not fulfilled your expectations? Because he has yet to get the ball in his hands. And I know he was hurt for a little bit. So he's still hurt. Okay.
He's still hurt. He's not fully recovered.
So is Darby Timmons, if you had to draft over again, are you taking Darby Timmons in the first round?
That's a good question.
The Dynasty wants to know, Matty Ice. Did you draft a dud in Darby Timmons?
So I can't. So that's a listen, man. You got me on the spot. I'm gonna say no, because before he got hurt, he had. So I had to play week 1. I played one of the best defenses in the DML, which was the Miami Dolphins, and he shut my whole offense pretty much down. In a loss, and Timmons was very limited. I think he did score a touchdown that game, but so week 2 I played the Cardinals, and Timmons was showing some flashes, man, and I was really happy. I was excited. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get him the rock. I think he had 3 carries for 40 or 50 yards right off the bat.
Right.
Then he got hurt, and I couldn't really do much with him since. So I'm just gonna answer this honestly. If I could draft it over again, I would absolutely pick a different player, at pick 13. I think I was at.
I knew you would.
I would, and that's only because, yeah, and it wasn't a bad pick. It's just, it's unfortunate he got hurt. I'm actually more happier with my later pick, the tight end, but if I can do it over again, no. But yeah, I'll look to move him in the offseason for sure. But he's definitely could be a baller. I mean, if I won't be upset if I can't move him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna work with him.
Okay. Let's talk.
But I appreciate you. Hold on, before we move on, I appreciate you letting Corey Grant go. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But he's hurt too, so I don't know what's going on. But he's been a baller for me.
He's still a good back. He just never got his chance in Jacksonville with T.J. Yeldon and Leonard Fournette.
Crowded backfield.
Yeah, just too many backs and not enough footballs to go around. Let's talk Eagles schedule. So you start the year. You talked about the Dolphins. You take an L versus the Dolphins. Then you get your homeboy AJ. And you get the Cardinals and you win, and then you get the Panthers and you win that game. Then you go into your bye week, you're 2-1. You got to feel good about yourself because the only loss you take is to the defending Super Bowl champ. You come out the bye week and probably have, and this is just me watching some of your games, probably your worst offensive game. You put up 16 points, but your worst offensive game against the Vikings.
Right.
And your defense played well, but your offense put you in some just horrible situations, and you lose that game. And so you're sitting at 2-2. Did you think they're at 2-2? Oh crap! Here goes last year all over again. We're gonna be up and down, win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 2, and just be back in that 8-8, 7-9 season from last year. Were you starting to worry there after the Vikings game?
Yeah, especially I did, especially because he had I think he had 11 sacks that game, about 5 with Hunter alone, and I think I had 5 starters get injured long term that game for multiple weeks. I said that's when I was like, okay, it's gonna happen again. But I didn't let it get to me as it did last season because I said, you know what? Let's see what happens. So we're just gonna take it game by game. I'm not gonna let it get to me because you know how injuries can really like put a blow on your mental, your season mentally. So I ended up getting a couple.
Come back out. You're 2-2. You come back out and you get a home game versus the Redskins where you come out and your defense just plays lights out. You hold the Redskins to 3 points. Then you get the always dangerous Seahawks who comes into town, and your offense is clicking. You put up 4 touchdowns. Your defense plays well. And then you have the famous Cowboys game where you put up 80 points. Mm-hmm. Are the Eagles on a roll here like we saw Matty Ice the first 4 or 5 seasons of Madden 19? Is this the Philadelphia Eagles team we expect to see? Or do we see the team where we start to hear the tank rumors rolling around for Philadelphia? Are we going to see the dominant Matty Ice? Or are we going to see everyone question whether the Philadelphia Eagles are legit?
So we're going to take it. So one thing I never do is take it game by game, possession by possession. So I'm just going to play it game by game. But I'm feeling good so far about the season. We just got two key guys back, which is Andrew Norwell from Jacksonville. Thank you again.
Yes, sir.
And
he just wanted too much money for a 30-plus-year-old guard. I mean,
I agree. I had some money to blow.
We love it. We love it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said we're going to take it game by game because let's take it game by game. You got the Redskins coming out after this Cowboy game. We're in week 9 right now, so you got the Redskins. Is that a win for the Eagles?
It's funny because I'm about to play him after this. Yeah, I look at that
see the show before you make your predictions.
No, it doesn't matter.
Shout out to the homie under 2 rated.
His defense is serious. If I can stay away from that secondary, I chalk that as a win. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 6-2. Then you got King Vitamin and the Rams. That's a win.
That's a win.
7-2. Okay. Then you have Solomon, Kane, and the Jets in Philly. Always a dangerous opponent. Is that a win?
Win.
8-2. Then you got HBO in the rematch. You're in Dallas. I'm not even going to ask if this is a win because I know this is a win for you. Do you stretch the 80 points or are you going to play conservative football? Has HBO got enough payback? We're going to start asking some tough questions here on the bye week.
I'm never letting off the pedal on him. He put him never let off the pedal on
get
him.
ready. I'm seeing an
He talks too
85, 90
much.
point game. Okay, so you're 9-2. Now the meat of your schedule shows up. Now the last 5 games of this year is where we're going to find out about Philadelphia. You get the Giants twice. You get the 49ers. You get the Patriots. Sandwiched in there is a win with the Buffalo Bills. Now, 4 of your last 5 are against playoff caliber teams.
Yeah.
Does Matty Ice dominate the last 5 games, or does the pressure of playing games that actually count at the end of the year make this Philadelphia Eagle team kind of fold up shop and let the Giants come back and win his division? Because sandwiched in the Giants game, Matty Ice, is Mr. Sweets 99.
Yeah.
And I know you got that game circled because that is one of the top 3 users over there. You, Addy 5, and Mr. Sweets 99, 3 of the top 5 guys. And we can put them in any order because you can throw the bus in there.
Yep.
You can throw, maybe when the Packers or Colbert is actually healthy, you might throw him in there. But does that 49ers game distract you from the 2 division games versus the Giants?
No, I'm actually – the Giants played me he's played me a lot. And he has one of the best offenses on paper in the league. So I have game plans for everybody. Sometimes it doesn't go my way and I need to adjust. So I'm going to try to do my best to adjust in game, which is a lot, like you said, the top 3, top 5 users do. One of the best adjusters I ever played was Addy 5.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone adjust his game like he does mid-game, his game plan. So I'm going to take notes and I'm going to try to adjust. And I'm going to go for a second seed. So yeah, I think I'm more worried about the Niners than I am the Giants.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Last question for Matty Ice before we let you get out of here.
No doubt.
Do you win the division the rest of the cycle here in the Dynasty?
Yeah, I do.
No doubt. Pop
Yeah,
Bleezy has no chance of winning this division ever again.
Nah, his offense, I think I caught on to. I watched a couple games not playing him, and it seems to be, pretty cut and dry. Saquon or that tall guy, so that tall fake guy, you know what I'm talking about, Bowman and Ballman. I can't stand him. He's no joke, expert.
Yeah,
I need a Ramsey up
legit.
against him.
He's over in Jacksonville, so I'm not worried about him.
Okay.
But the Eagles are winning the division every year going forward.
Yeah. We're looking to be back in Philly in Madden 20, especially with my boy Jordan Howard. I've always been a fan of him.
Wow. So Matty Ice wants to be back in Philly.
Yeah.
So that means you and I will be battling 2 times a year. Okay.
Oh,
I'd
man.
like to hear it because Expert's going home. I mean, Dion's already got the music queued up for when I pick in the draft. I'm coming home, so
Can't wait,
so
baby.
that way Dak and Amari Cooper have a real owner next season. Shout out to the homie HBO. Congrats on the house and the new baby. We love you, but you've ruined my Dallas Cowboys for the last.
You ain't never lie.
All right, Matty Ice. Anything you got for the Dynasty before we let you get out of here?
I just appreciate everything that the commissioners do. I know it's a lot of work. Keep it clean and expert, man, keep grinding. I've watched that Expert's Corner and just your commentary grow. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, you know it's all love. That's my brother from
Yeah.
Philadelphia. Shout out to the homie Matty Ice and Philadelphia Eagles. First here on the bye week. We're going to let him get back to the family.
No doubt.
And the rest of his evening. All right, Matty Ice, let you get out of here. Next up, another NFC user. And we've talked about him a little bit here on the show. It's the Green Bay Packers and Mr. Kirk. What's up, Kirk?
What's up, brother? How's it going?
Hey, man, it's going. All right, let's talk Green Bay Packers for a minute.
Alright.
Let's first talk about that running back you got, because I know you love talking about him. So let's just start right there at the beginning with your monster tailback, Mr. Kieran Colbert, coming out of Stanford. This is his 3rd season here in the DML. Is he the best running back in the Dynasty?
Yes, he is. And now you'll see this later. He just signed a deal with Nike after wearing Under Armour gear his career because now he's rated the best running back in Dynasty too at 99. But yes, he's the best running back in Dynasty.
Okay, so, and we're going to go a whole different route than where we went with Matty Ice, because I want to talk about this roster that you have in Green Bay, because you still have not figured out how to take on the bus and those Chicago Bears and take this division from him when we expected you to at least battle. Is your quarterback position holding this Green Bay Packer team back?
Yeah, it is. Derek Carr has played better for me than I expected him to. I didn't want to sign him, but I'm a Raiders fan. I saw him out there. And I like Leonard, but he's just not my type of quarterback. I like somebody that can at least move around in the pocket, maybe run for 10 yards, 15 yards if he needs to. I really like mobile quarterbacks. I just haven't found that quarterback I need quite yet.
Is part of that this wide receiver core that you got? You got Juju Smith-Schuster, who has played well. 22 catches. He's got 350 plus yards. He's got 5 touchdowns. He's averaging 16 yards a catch. But after that, you're pretty much, the next wide receiver is 4th or 5th on your list at Devontae Adams. And really, Hunter Henry is your go-to guy for Derek Carr. But besides Juju Smith-Schuster and Devontae Adams, there is no wide receiver on this roster that is scaring anybody. Is it the weapons that you have for Derek Carr just not sufficient enough to make you successful? And if you got some weapons, would that make Colbert even more dangerous in that backfield?
I think so, and I've been trying to find me a receiver that can stretch the field. I'm tired of having to go against 10 or 11 guys in the box. I don't have even Juju. He's not really that receiver that can stretch the field. He's that guy I throw it to whenever I need a first down, or I throw it up to him with a jump ball, but he's not going to outrun many people. We've struggled a little bit to find separation. Sterling Shepard is usually okay in the slot, but he was hurt. He missed half of the season. I just got him back, I think, last week.
Right.
And then behind him, my receivers are terrible. And the drafts just haven't fell the way I wanted. I don't like reaching on players, especially whenever I've had multiple terrible seasons. I want to take a player I know is going to come in and start day one. And some of the receivers that have been there, I haven't been so sure. So it's frustrating because then, while I need a receiver, quarterback is still what to do because Carr's on a 1-year deal. And I don't know if Leonard's my guy.
All right, let's flip over to this defense, because you've made some moves here in these past couple years to try and boost this defense up. You brought Lewis Kennedy in at linebacker. You got DJ Dean, and your linebacker crew is actually very, very talented. But your secondary, and we heard Matty Ice talk about, he's got probably one of the best secondaries. And if we look at this secondary on paper, especially with HaHa Clinton-Dix, getting up there in age, John Johnson, who is just a monster at strong safety. But then you go to corner and you got Kevin King really is your top echelon guy. Desmond King has played well in spurts, but these are guys that are aging. You don't have any young talent in this back end of this secondary. Is that a concern, especially knowing we have such a limited amount of time to build teams up before high stakes gets here?
It is. It's a big concern. I spent most of the early part of the season trying to trade for defensive backs, and nobody's moving them. The best I could do was Desmond King, who's slower than I like. But he filled a major hole because before him I had a 67 overall nickelback, and that just wasn't cutting it. I regret one roster move I've made since I joined this league, and took over the ownership of the Packers, and that was trading Jair Alexander. I regret that trade. Now Alexander did get hurt for me 2 straight seasons and missed a big part, so that's why I did it. but I thought I would have been able to replace him by now, and here I am with the same corners I had, and nobody really coming up.
All right, man, you're sitting at 5-2 here in the Dynasty in Week 9. And let's talk a little bit about your schedule. You come out Week 1, and you just take a beat down against the Saints.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was ugly. You couldn't run the ball. You couldn't throw the ball. You couldn't tackle anything. Couldn't cover anything. After that 44-0 just straight beat down from Addy 5, did you think, oh, great, here's another season where we're going to finish second or third here in the NFC North and struggle to even compete, especially after you take a beating like that in Week 1?
Honestly, no. I didn't have Colbert for that game. He was suspended, as was Derek Carr, for missing team meetings. So I was without my top 2 players offensively. And anytime I'm without Colbert, it's hard. And then Rashad Penny actually got hurt on the second play of that game. So I was down to Muhammad, and he actually had 100-yard rushing for a third-string back, which wasn't bad. But that game, the first quarter and a half, it was a 3-0 game, and then 2 touchdowns right before the end of the half, and then in the fourth quarter, 24 points. It just killed me.
Yeah. Well, after that loss, you come out, and it felt like the Packers were just refocused. You got the Panthers, Mr. Comeback King himself, C-Rob, and you get a close win with him, 26-20. Then you have a battle with the brother from down under and the Vikings, and you pull that one out 21-20. Then you got T-Pain in the Bucs. Shout out to homie T-Pain. Got a new baby as well. Everybody in the Dynasty having kids. You beat T-Pain 31-10, and you go into your bye week 3-1. Did you feel good at that point that you felt like maybe the Packers had finally kind of turned the corner here and we're starting to get win after win?
Yeah, I felt really good at that point. Coming into the season, I was a little worried coming off of – I only had 5 wins last season. Right. So coming into the season starting with Addy and C-Rob and Vikings, who's tough. That defense is brutal on me every year. So I was a little concerned heading into the season, especially because heading into the start of the preseason, I didn't have a starting quarterback. Right. Carr wasn't on my roster until we got there. Luckily, he signed, and we put a couple wins together. And I felt good, and I still feel pretty good.
And then you come out your bye week, and you get the Bus and the Bears. And he's really had your number here this cycle. But you get a win versus the Bus at Green Bay, and you get 23-20 and take the division lead right there. Is that kind of a weight off your back to know, hey, I can go into a game versus the Bus and compete and actually get a win and have a shot at winning this division finally?
Yeah, that was – it's funny because I felt like it was almost karma because I beat him year one, 20-0, I think. And then since then, he's absolutely just kicked my ass. Excuse language, but he's been tough on me. He's been tough. That game, I was very frustrated. It missed extra point, sent it to overtime, and I thought I was going to lose it. But luckily, a huge pick by Kevin King kind of saved me, and then we were able to go in and get that win, which was a huge win. I felt coming off the bye that gave me the lead at the time in the division.
All right, so you got you have by percentage points, you have the lead here in the division in the NFC North because of that win over the Bears. You got really a very tough schedule coming up. You get the Seahawks, and Jay is always a tough opponent. You're going to get Taz, and then you have that rematch week 11 with the Bears. Do you allow that Bear game in week 11 to be a distraction to the Green Bay Packers? Because you have 2 games before that. You just took a loss versus the Raiders. Not a good loss, especially leading the division. Kind of let the Bears kind of get back into it. Do you allow week 11 to kind of distract you, knowing you have 2 games here in week 9 and 10 that you must win?
No, I have to focus every game. I want playoffs this year. I'm going for playoffs. I want the division. I'll take a wild card, but I need to focus on every game. And Jay, that's a guy I've been playing against for so long that game's a rivalry in its own. So that's always a big battle. So I never overlook that game if he's on my schedule.
Right. If the playoffs started today, the Packers would be the 2 seed in the NFC. Did you expect going in this season that you would compete for a top 3, top 4 spot here in the NFC, knowing the amount of talent that's up there?
Honestly, no, especially whenever I looked at my schedule. It's funny because after week 1, and then I did get that week 2 win, but whenever we saw the scouting reports start coming out on the upcoming draft class in week 3, I was looking at this quarterback class and thinking, well, I'll probably be up in that early enough pick to get one of those star quarterbacks. And now here we are with 5 wins already, which ties my last season. I feel great. Trust me, I'd much rather win. I can find a quarterback somewhere. But no, I didn't anticipate this. I thought we'd be better. I had a lot of injuries last year. At one point, my entire starting offensive line was hurt. And it's tough, especially whenever you're a running team. Colbert's yards per carry was way down last year compared to what it normally is. I think right now he's second in the league in yards per game, actually, which isn't bad. I think the only person ahead of him is Gurley, but Gurley only has 60 carries, so that's weird. I feel good though where we're at. I think I can pull it out, and I just need some tough games ahead though.
Do the Packers win the NFC North this year?
That's tough. I'd like to say yes. Bus is always a tough opponent though, and the thing is he doesn't take many losses. So the next few games are crucial. I almost have to beat him again. I don't know that I will. I'm going to give it everything I got this season, and hopefully I can. I'm going to say no, just because I feel like I have a little bit harder of a schedule, but the Packers are going to make the playoffs.
All right, you heard it here on the bye week. The Packers will make the playoffs this year after going 5-12 last year, right?
Yeah, 2 years in a row.
Sorry, you went 5-11 last year. 2 years in a row went 5-11. All right, Packers make the playoffs. All right, Kirk, what do you have for the Dynasty before you get out of here?
Not much. I'm just glad to be here, grinding, getting ready for the high stakes push. Anybody wants to trade me some cornerbacks, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you having me on again.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that is Kirk from the Packers, man. Appreciate you jumping on here on the bye week. And always good talking about your Packers.
Yeah, man. Thanks again for having me.
All right. Last up on the show is XPERT's favorite user in the Dynasty, not named XPERT. It's the OG Taz and those Detroit Lions. What's up, Taz?
What's good, XPERT? How you doing?
Man, always an honor when I get you on the show, get you away from the family and let you jump on and talk about your Lions.
Yes, sir.
I know you don't really like to talk about them because they're not having a really good year right now.
Man, past couple seasons. Oh,
what is going on?
Past couple seasons been ugly. Yeah, we've been trying to find our new identity, and I end up doing this every cycle where I get to a point where I've kept some players too long so that they don't have trade value, and they're aging out at that position, and then I have some young talent behind them that I've kind of waited, too long to really start putting them in there, getting them that playing time to develop them. So I'm playing a little catch up right now. The Madden has smiled down on me the past couple games, finally getting some things going my way. It looks like the team is gelling. Just got to figure it out.
You talked about some young talent on this football team. Let's talk at the QB position. You draft Spencer Blaylock. I was there in the war room when you drafted him. Has all the attributes that you could want coming out the gate. Has he lived up to the expectation at quarterback, or is Nick Boyle beating down the doors to try and take this spot from him?
As of right now, Spencer is still the number one. Spencer, he shows everything that we want, but at times you see like the light flick off for a second, and he gets a little nervous in the pocket. He's been getting beat up. He's been taking a lot of sacks. We need to work on the O-line this draft, but he's still hanging in there. He hasn't gone out with any injuries, and he's really one of those kids that it takes him a minute to really settle down and settle into the game. Yeah. First half, he's usually horrible. Second half, he looks like a possible Pro Bowler. So we're hanging tough with him. We drafted him third overall, and he's our guy.
All right, let's talk wide receiver for a minute. You got Kenny Golladay. Nothing much we need to say about him. 6'4", kid out of Northern Illinois. Just catches everything you throw to him. But let's talk about my favorite Detroit Lion, Connor Yoder. Where did this kid come from, and why has he been so successful in this program?
Man, so during free agency, I didn't have a lot of money. Didn't really have the opportunity to make a lot of moves, but I needed a wide receiver. I knew I was going quarterback first, and then just looking at the rest of the receivers in this past class, the top guys I knew were going to be gone come second round. So I just took a chance. I like, everything about him. No, he's not fast, but the kid can ball. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
He's 6'5". Strong, runs great, crisp routes, and just catches anything near him. So we're very happy that he is a Detroit Lion.
Yeah, and to match up with him, he's still pretty young. You got some young talent on this offense. The offensive line is outside of Taylor Decker, I believe one of the younger offensive lines here in the Dynasty. Frank is 27, but everybody else 26 or 25. You got the captain, Ray Roberg, at center, who's just been playing lights out for you. Do you feel like this offense is finally taking some steps in the right direction, that maybe when high stakes comes around, the Detroit Lions will be a contender here in the Dynasty?
That's definitely what we're shooting for. We've got ourselves in position where, we're young at pretty much every position. We either have a young, talented starter, or we have a young, talented guy that is starting for now. And, it's just a matter of just keep acquiring some more talent these next couple drafts, and just keep building on the foundation that we have right now.
Yeah, so let's switch over here to your defense, because you got some aging guys here on the defense. Anthony Zettel is close to retirement, but you talked about you got Spencer Landry, who's the kid that's been with you out of Oklahoma State. He's kind of taken over that role. Deshaun Hall getting up there in age, but then you got Deron Heath that you drafted, still a young guy that can step in and play. Mm-hmm. But then let's talk about this linebacker crew. You got Patrick Hamilton, who he's in his second year. You got Gerard Davis, who is the veteran of this group, and then you got Torrey Sanford. Is this linebacker crew, do you think it's talented enough, or do you feel like the draft coming up after this season, if that's a position you're going to have to look at?
We always want to add to what we have. And I can tell you right now, these three linebackers are all ballers. No, they're not the fastest guys, but let me tell you, you wouldn't be able to notice that because they are always around the ball. Wherever that football is, you're going to see one of those three, if not all three, in the general vicinity.
Yeah.
And that's all we can ask for. Yeah, we would like some faster guys, possibly, but, you know, I'm not going to sit these guys down for a fast guy that doesn't have, you know, the mental acumen to play like they do. So, yeah, we're just going to build off of what we got, and these guys are leading the way.
All right, let's talk about this secondary.
Yeah.
You gotta be thinking this is Darius Slay's last year.
You know, I think so, but man, that guy just keeps surprising me every season. You know, the end of last season, I was like, okay, I'm probably just gonna have to let him go ahead and ride off into the sunset, or, you know, I'm thinking maybe moving him to safety.
Right.
And just out the gate before the bye week, he's tacked up 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
You know, he's just flying around the ball like he's, you know, 22 again instead of 32. So, you know, when you got a guy that's balling like that, and he really hasn't lost much speed.
Right. Still at 93 speed, 90 excel at 32.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
crazy.
You know, he's balling like that. He's not going anywhere. You know, he's staying right there. DJ Edmonds has learned a lot under him over the past season and a half. And, you know, he's stepped up into the number 1 role. And we're just going to keep pushing forward. Now, we're definitely going to look to bring 1 or 2 guys in. But right now, D. Slay he's staying a Lion. He's going to retire a Lion.
All right, let's talk about the guy you just mentioned, DJ Edmonds.
Yeah.
You drafted him 2 drafts ago. 5'10". A lot of people said he's not tall enough. He's 188 pounds. They didn't think he could be physical enough. Has DJ Edmonds filled every expectation that you had for him coming out of Penn State?
So the real test for DJ came couple games ago against the Chargers, because we all know that man Bass is just a monster.
Yeah. And
let me tell you, that was one of the best battles between a wide receiver and a cornerback that you could watch. You go back and watch the tape. Bass got his, but DJ got his also. I think DJ had 2 interceptions that game. Like 3 pass deflections. I mean, he said, you know, this is my statement game. I am here. I am a top quality cornerback, and ain't nobody gonna tell me any different.
Yeah, and he's really balling for you. And we spoke to his agent. He would love to come to Jacksonville, play with Jalen Ramsey. And so, you know, if you want to make that deal, just let me know. I got plenty of money, draft picks, players, whatever
right.
you need. We'll take care of the Detroit Lions. All right, let's talk schedule before we let you get out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. The Detroit Lions have had some ups and downs this year if you look at the schedule. Now, some of that stuff has been self-inflicted. The QB is still young.
Yeah.
But some of this that you've had this year is just the ball just hasn't bounced your way. And we'll talk about the first game with the Cowboys. It felt
we
like
should have won that.
It felt like you had the game in hand, and then the Detroit Lions did everything they could to get the Cowboys the game. What happened in the Dallas game that forced that to go from a game where you had in the books ready to go to the Cowboys coming back and winning 2017?
Just like you said, the ball just not going our way. You know, just a couple stupid plays here and there that, you know, I won't call it all luck. I'll just say it was Madden. Just a couple things that, put HBO in a position to just hang in there and just win the game. But I mean, he even said it afterwards. He shouldn't have won that game.
Yeah.
He knew we balled, and that game should have been ours. That was a big disappointment.
Yeah, and that kind of puts you on a spiral there. Puts you on a little 4-game losing streak. You lose to King Biden and the Rams, the OG KP and the Chiefs, and then Hamilton and the Vikings sneak one away from you there.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was
another game you could have won. And then you've gone here on a little 3-game win streak. You talked about the Charger game and DJ Edmonds kind of having to play bass the whole way, and you get Andy Force in a close one.
Yeah.
What happened in the game in the Chargers? Talk about that for a minute.
That was a good game. That game right there was the Detroit Lions defense coming out party for this season. That game right there, they put it together and said, enough is enough. Offense, just control the ball, just get a couple points ahead, we'll do the rest. And that's what they've stepped up and been trying to do.
All right, so in the fourth quarter, you get the ball, you're down.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdown ties it.
Mm-hmm.
Why go for 2?
At that point, we had already lost, 4 games.
Right.
And it was just one of those things that, hey, let's just do it. What else can happen at this point? We lose game 5.
When you catch the ball and get the 2-point conversion, do you ever doubt yourself in those situations when you make that call? Or is that one of those things where you just got to trust your instincts? Let's go for the win. If we win, we'll walk out of here proud of how we played. And if we lose, we'll do the same thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. We played such a good game, and I can't really take all the credit. Madden did let some things go my way. We had 2 big catches at the end of both halves. We had a touchdown catch by it was by Yoder at the end of the first half. That kept us in the game, and then just that final couple seconds catch by Brewer, on a Hail Mary, and hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. Once I saw that happen, I was like, we might as well go for 2. Giving us some love this far, let's just see what else happens. So hey. And it just worked out.
And it's funny that those games like that kind of push you for the next couple weeks, because you have a little 3-game win streak when you headed into your bye there at week 8, and now you come out in week 9, and this is where the schedule kind of gets tough for the Lions. You get Addy 5 and the Saints. You get the comeback king C-Rob. You get 2 games versus Kirk and the Packers, who's playing very, very well this year. You still have 2 division games versus KP, the Bus, and the Bears. You get JB and the Broncos. You get the commish himself, Nasty Noob, and you still got 1 game versus Hamilton. Are we going to find out what the Lions are about in these last 8 weeks here?
No doubt. No doubt. As long as, injuries don't come into a major factor, we're here. We're here, and we're going to ball out. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. We're bringing everything we got.
Do we see the Lions in the playoffs this cycle?
Yes. Yes, you do. It may be in high stakes.
Hey, that's the season to do it in.
Yeah, that exactly. But we coming. We found our offensive and defensive playbooks that we rolling with for the entire cycle. Okay. We found our schemes that we're rolling with for the entire cycle. Like I said, I'm really happy with the foundation on both sides of the ball that I have right now. And it's just a matter here on out to just make some smart decisions in the draft, getting some more quality players. And if I can scoop, wily vet in free agency here or there, then, that's what we're going to do.
All right, let's take off the GM hat for a minute. Let's put the co-commish hat on for a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, point system here in the Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
We got guys that still need some points to be eligible for Madden 20. What would be your advice to those guys that are still looking at the point system and saying, where can I get the best value and where can I help the league out the most? What would you say to those guys that are sitting less than 50 points?
It's really simple. Dion put it out the other day, a couple team blogs on daddy leagues, just write what's going on with your team, talk about your injuries, talk about your thought process, for this season and, leading up to high stakes. Just, write it out and just post it. You get some really decent points. There's numerous shows. Everyone that's doing a show will post, hey, if you want to hop on, we're recording, this day, this time, reach out. Or if you don't want to do that, just be creative. We have a bunch of Twitter personalities that really haven't been able to do much, this cycle. Take over a Twitter personality. Just create one. You don't even have to let anybody but Dion know it's you, and just have fun with it. Just talk some trash, talk some shit.
Yeah.
Just be creative and enjoy the league, enjoy, the type of league that we are.
All right. So as we head to high stakes, there's going to be a lot more eyeballs on games than we see during the regular cycle. For users that want to turn in a violation, what is the steps guys need to take? Would you prefer as a co-commish, because you and I are the rules guy, would you prefer guys when they send something in going forward that they have a clip attached to it, or should we continue with the basis of, hey, there's a violation in this game, you go check it out?
Come with that clip. If it was a Twitch streamed game, go clip the violation and send it to us in the DM. If it was a YouTube game, then go find the timestamp of the violation and send to us. Because just coming to us and saying, hey, there was this violation in their game, like we don't have enough on our plate to try to go and, stream through an hour's worth of, footage trying to find this violation. Yes, we will handle the violations, but come on now. Everybody's an adult. If you want to tell on somebody, then you come with come with the stuff.
All right. Last question before I let you get out of here. EA Play's coming up here in June. And I believe myself, Nasty Noob, the OG Chris Murray, HBO Puglisi, and of course, Mr. What Up, Tone Dog himself will be in the building at EA Play. We're gonna be 6 deep, I believe, at EA Play for the Dynasty, which is huge. And I would say, guys, if you want to go to EA Play this year, it's June 7th, 8th, and 9th. We have a Dynasty house in California that's already bought, and we'll chop the pot up if more guys want to show up. You don't have to stay the whole 3 days. You can just come for the 1 day like most guys do. But reach out to myself or Nasty Noop if you're going to be able to make it to California, so we can make sure you got a place to stay. But with the guys going to EA Play, Taz, what do you want to see from Madden 20 the most?
Man, I want to see a game that it's just a good quality product from beginning all the way through. You know, we came into Madden 19 with such high expectations, and on initial launch, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I really loved the game. I thought it played really, really well. There were a couple things that, you know, needed some minor adjustments. And I think the problem is what happens every year is the suits weigh in and make the developers change the game to fit the casual player.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, us diehards. You know, the game was designed a couple of cycles ago to have these different, you know, settings.
Right.
You know,
right.
sim mode, you know, the sim mode, competition mode, you know, arcade. But it gets dumbed down and patched out to where none of those modes really play any different than the other.
Yeah.
And it really sucks because, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it gets to the point after all the patches and changes when a patch comes out, you have to relearn the game. And it just gets so frustrating. It's just like, why am I still doing this? And for me, as it is for you too, also, I know it's just our brotherhood and the Dynasty that keeps me going.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only reason I'm still playing Madden. Because, I mean, MLB, the show is out, and I will sit and play that for hours.
Man, so much fun. Such a good game.
You know, for Madden 20, I just wish that the suits would step back and let the developers put together the Madden football game that us diehard players deserve and want.
No doubt. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, Taz, what do you have for the Dynasty before you get out of here?
Well, the biggest thing I have for everyone is be looking out for a drop tomorrow night. Everybody's been asking for it. And we put together a new crew. And the Hurt Locker will be dropping Sunday night.
Let's go.
The crew that has been put together is, I'm telling y'all, be prepared because it's going to be some mess put out. Oh my God. I'm telling y'all, just be ready. Just be ready.
Oh man, that's some amazing news. Two of my favorite shows on the DML network. Number one is Hurt Locker. By far one of my favorite shows to watch, just because it's just guys cutting up, having a good time, and then Numbers Don't Lie with Tight Work, The Bus, and Sweets. Yeah. Two of my favorite shows. I can't wait. That's such great news. Of course, keep it a secret who's on the show until we actually hear the show. But guys, make sure you tune into the DML network for the Hurt Locker coming out tomorrow. That's going to be amazing to have that show back. So they're going to break down everybody's injuries as well as cut up and try and make you laugh a little bit.
It's going to be some cutting up, let me tell you.
All right, good stuff. All right, Taz, man, always a pleasure when you get on the bye week, man. You go and have a great rest of your weekend, and good luck on the rest of your year.
Thanks, X. You too, bro.
All right, guys, that's the bye week here. Appreciate the Matty Ice and the Eagles, Kirk and those Packers, and, of course, the OG Taz and the Detroit Lions jumping on. Be on the lookout because another episode of bye week will drop. We have another episode recording tomorrow with 3 more guys that are going to come on the show, and we got a little special surprise on the next bye week. Make sure you hit that follow button, hit the like, and leave a comment down below. Let us know how we're doing. It's your boy XPERT, and I'm out.